I just put in an apple, and it gave me an instant health potion. Not too bad. What's up, agents? Zero here. Welcome back to another Minecraft add-on showcase, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the Mine Furniture add-on. Now, this adds in a whole bunch of different little features that you can add, like basically decorative features that you can add to your builds, and they actually look relatively good. And not only that, they actually also serve purposes. They can actually be used to do stuff. So, first thing you need to understand is how you actually get these items. Well, you can only technically get these items through creative or through commands. And the way you do that is you first off need to get one of these guys. This is actually a shulker. The actual mob, this is the shulker. And basically, if I go into my creative inventory and I go ahead and open up the not the dies, you'll see the dies in a moment. Go down here. So this is the shulker spawn, I guess you can tell. Actually, let me go ahead and move my cursor off of it. So this is what it actually looks like now that I have my cursor off of it. So it's basically a DL box, and as you would guess, it comes off of MCP DL. Makes sense. By the way, this add-on was created by a guy by the name of Michael_MC. So, dude, your information will be down in the description. So, good job with this add-on. I'm liking it so far. And he actually recently updated to, I think, this is version 3 at this point. I'm not 100% sure. I think if I look at the information, I might be able to actually see what version it is, because it doesn't say on the web page, but it said when I download the information. So anyway, yeah, so this is the shulker. You either use a spawn egg or you spawn the shulker in using commands, but as you guess, I went ahead and used the spawn egg just to make things a little bit easier. Now, as far as the rest of these items are concerned, these are all shulkers as well. However, these are actually, basically different colored shulkers. So, you take a dye of shulker, take a colored dye, not a dye of shulker, you take a colored dye, and it'll change the shulker into one of these different items. And I will be explaining what each of these items actually are and what their dye actually is. So, first off, we have right here, this is a drum. This is technically with purple dye. If I go back into my inventory, so this is cocoa beans, this is bone meal, and these are all the different dyes. You guys got to see a little bit of this earlier because I made a little bit of mistake and opened the wrong menu. So these are all the dyes, and the different dyes actually do different things. They turn the shulker into different things. So the first one we have, this is a drum. This is purple according to the web page, and this actually does have a little bit of use. So if I open this up and I take out a stick and I go ahead and whack this drum with the stick, you can sort of hear a little bit of a noise. I'm not entirely sure what the noise is supposed to be. I think it's the noise of a bow letting go of its arrow. I'm not 100% sure. But you can actually legitimately play the drum using a stick, which actually is a relatively nice feature. Next up we have, this is a computer. By the way, I want to go ahead and mention real quick that every single one of these items I'm going to be showing you, except for the one all the way down at the end, which I'll be explaining in a moment, these are all going to be facing in one single direction. You can't rotate them in any other direction, so keep that in mind. I just happened to figure out which direction they need to go in and set them up correctly. So yeah, make sure you're aware about that when you download this app, because yeah, you're gonna have to do some real serious arranging of your area in order to figure out where to put these in it so you can have them in the right directions. It doesn't seem to matter. Like this drum, it doesn't seem like it makes much of a difference what's direction you're facing. It looks the same on either side, but for the majority of the rest of them, well, it kind of does matter. So anyway, back to this. This is the computer. The computer is a black shulker, and here's what the computer does. If I go ahead and I take out this emerald, and I go ahead and click on this emerald, it's going to give me a credit card. Now, this is technically a shulker shell, is what it actually is, but it took my emerald and gave me a credit card. If I go ahead and click on the computer once again with the credit card, it'll give me my emerald back. And just for proof, if I go ahead and go over it, it is going to say shulker shell. The add-on creator did not apparently go ahead and name any of the items. Next up we have, this is a spooky statue, as it's called. Don't call me out for what it's called for being a weird name. I didn't name this. This is what's legitimately called on the webpage. So, it's a spooky statue, and here's the way this works. It's nothing more than just a simple statue. However, if you actually click on it with a gold pickaxe, take a look. It just got bigger. If I go ahead and take bone meal on it, it should, yeah, I have to make sure I hit the correct hitbox. It gets smaller. Some of these actually have this feature in which you can use a golden pickaxe in order to change it, which I'm actually going to hold on to this golden pickaxe for that reason alone, but just know that basically all of them that use this golden pickaxe, you click on it once and it does something, and then you click on it with the actual die itself, because this is a white shulker. You use bone meal on it. So you use the die on it a second time, it'll go back to its normal size. So that is something to be aware of. Next up we have, this is a little radio. Now the radio is actually kind of interesting, and inside of this is a gold ingot. I'm not going to bother pulling out this gold ingot because I don't want to have to deal with what it does just for the sake of having to edit this video. The reason being is because my video editor is kind of weird. I'll explain what the radio does. So basically, if you click on this radio with a gold ingot, it will actually play music, and you do not actually need to have the music resource pack downloaded in order to play the music. It will play the music regardless. The reason why my video here is kind of weird is because it messes up my audio for whatever reason. I need to get a different video. I just don't have the money right now. But yeah, it will play music for you, but for the sake of me having issues with my editor, I'm not going to do that. And you don't actually have to have your music turned on in order for it to play music either. It's built straight into the add-on, so even if your music is all the way as low as it will possibly go, then it'll still play the music just fine. And I think the music that plays is technically what plays based on the music discs. Don't quote me to that. So the radio is actually a red shulker. I hadn't mentioned that yet, so this is actually a red shulker. Next up we have a table. This is an orange shulker, and this actually has storage on it. And the way you access storage is you click on it, and you just put it in there. However, that's not the only way you can put items into it. You can also just directly drop items directly onto it, and as you can see, it put my pickaxe straight on it. And some of these other items have a similar function to it, and I will be explaining that when we get to it. Next up we have ourselves a chair. This is technically a yellow shulker, even though it doesn't technically look like it's red. Just believe me, that's yellow. So if I go ahead and click on this, I can actually now sit on this thing, and which is actually really kind of cool because they don't exactly have something like this in Minecraft to begin with. The only thing that they really have is boats in minecart, so the fact that they have something like this is actually really kind of cool. I like that a lot. I really do. Now you can in fact change the size of this once again with the golden pickaxe. So if I go ahead and do this, now it's actually bigger. And oh yeah, I kind of figured it would put me back on it. So yeah, you can change the size of it doing that. And if you take the yellow die once again and you go ahead and click on it, it'll change back to its normal size. Next up, we have ourselves a fridge. The fridge is actually a green dye, cactus green, and this actually has a full chest full of storage. Now, as you can tell, I don't have anything in it because I didn't figure I needed to for the showcase. But yeah, you can store pretty much whatever you want in there. Yeah, so it's just like a normal chest is basically what it is. Next up we have, this is a coffee table. And the coffee table, just like this table over here, it has storage. So I can go ahead and put this in here, and I can take it back out. And just like the table, I can go ahead and directly throw it in just like that, and it'll pick up the item just like that. Now, I don't think you can do anything. Is this for the next one over? Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, so this is actually one of the items that I can use. Yeah, I can use the pickaxe on this, and I don't remember if I mentioned this, but it has to be a golden pickaxe for any of these items to change the size. It doesn't work with any other type of pickaxe, or at least that's what the page says. So you can change the size of it with the pickaxe, and if you take the die again, this is actually a lime shulker, so yeah, so if I go ahead and do that, it'll change back down to a smaller size. Next up we have, this is a stool. This is a blue shulker. This is lapis. So let me go ahead and pull this out really quick. So this is another thing of which you are capable of sitting on, just like the chair, although admittedly the chair over there actually looks more like a stool, and it looks really similar to this, I'll be completely honest, but just like the chair, you can use the golden pickaxe on it, and you can go ahead and make it bigger. If you want to go ahead and make it smaller, once again, just take the lapis die, lapis lazuli, and you can go ahead and change it back down to a smaller size. Next up, this is a blender, and I have to say I really like the texture of this. It looks really good. All these textures actually look really good. I'm going to be completely honest. Now, here's the thing about this blender. You can actually use this to create potions. So I have an apple, I have a melon, I have a potato, and I have a carrot. These are the only items that you can use with the blender according to the web page. These are the only items you can use with the blender. And what you do is you go ahead and click on them with the item. Look at that. I just put in an apple and it gave me an instant health potion. Not too bad. So let's go ahead and put in a melon, and this time it gives us a potion of leaping. So that's kind of cool. If we put in the potato, this is going to give us night vision, so that's not too bad. And this carrot gives us, what does the carrot give us? Fire resistance. Okay, so that's actually a relatively cool feature. You put food in, you get potions out. That's actually really cool. Next up, if you couldn't tell what this is just by looking at it, because it's kind of obvious, this is actually a barbecue grill. I know it wasn't too hard to guess, was it? So if it wasn't obvious on what this does, basically what this does is if you take raw meat and you go ahead and click on it, now I have cooked chicken. I do the same thing, now I have a steak. And it does the same thing to obviously fish. You guys know me, I love myself some salmon. So this makes it relatively easy to get it. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this up. So next up, I forgot to mention what some of these are. So I mentioned the stool was lapis. I did not mention what the blender is. The blender is the barbecue grill is light blue. Next up we have, this is a safe. And this is magenta. So this just acts basically as a storage container. That's all it really does. Next up we have ourselves a bin. This is more like a trash bin. This is actually pink, so go figure that one out. So it acts the same as the table and the coffee table all the way over there. And you just simply click on it. You can put items in it. You can pull the items back out, and you can throw items onto it, and it'll pick the item up just like that. Next up we have, this is a bathtub, and I know it's kind of hard to see them all because it's all white, but if I go ahead and walk around this a little bit, there is a legitimate faucet. So if I pull back a little bit, yeah, you guys can probably see the faucet in there. Now, this is actually relatively cool because this actually has a little bit of a use to it. So I can actually sit in this bathtub if I actually really want to. As you can tell, I'm just sitting in the bathtub. I'm just kind of chilling. So let me go ahead and get out of this thing and get out of third person too. So here's the way this works. You have light gray dye, which this is soap. And then you have an empty bucket. If I go ahead and click on this with the light gray, which I said is soap, look at that. It just filled the bathtub. And as you would guess, I can sit in it. Check this out. I'm taking a little bit of a bath. Isn't that kind of interesting? Probably not. So yeah, there's that. And if you take an empty bucket, you can go ahead and click on it, and it'll completely empty out the bathtub. So let's go ahead and put that away. Now, next up we have ourselves, this is a toilet, and this is actually made out of cocoa beans, so go figure that one out. The bathtub, this is gray, and as I mentioned, the soap is actually light gray. Again, the toilet is cocoa beans, and just as you expect from any toilet, you can sit on this, so you can pretty much go ahead and actually use this for its actual use. Makes sense. Yeah, so there's that. That's a little toilet, and actually, the model on this toilet is actually not too bad either. I don't see like a handle on it for you to flush, but it does make a little bit of sense. But that would just add just a little bit of detail, and as you can tell, there is actually water inside of it, so it is actually a relatively cool thing. Now this is the last item on the list. This is just an armchair, and this one is not actually a shulker at all. This one is actually a sheep. If you guys can hear the sheep noises, this one is actually a sheep, and this one will actually rotate around for whatever reason, probably because it doesn't probably because the shulkers don't move around, and therefore that's why they can't rotate. But because this is a legitimate mob that would normally roam around, it does make sense that this would rotate every so often. And as you can tell, you can sit in the thing, and actually doesn't look too bad. It looks rather comfortable, if I'm being completely honest. It looks like a really comfortable armchair. If I had this thing in real life, I would definitely sit on this, because this actually looks really good. And because it's a sheep, well, it's wool, and so it will probably be even more comfortable. And so yeah, that is all there is to this add-on. Now, as you'd expect, there will be a download link in the description if you guys want to go ahead and check out this add-on for yourself, but that's actually going to have to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. One more, make sure to hit that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCP0 to stay updated. This has been Zero Studios. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I will see you guys later.